Hey gang, what's going on? James here and welcome back to Fan Theories. This is where I give you my thoughts and theories to some of my favorite movies and movies that are getting ready to come out. And as always, if you feel that I may have missed something or you got your own take on it, please leave a comment below. So today is October 6th. We are 25 days away from Halloween. And we are 13 days away from Halloween. I guess I need to rephrase that. We are 13 days away from the release of the new Halloween movie that is getting ready to come into theaters. Now, this Halloween is 40 years in the making and is set to be a direct sequel to the original 1978 Halloween. And it totally wipes the slate clean from all the other sequels. Halloween 2, Halloween 3, which I guess wasn't really a sequel. Halloween 4, Halloween 5, Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, Halloween H2O, Halloween Resurrection, and the two terrible Rob Zombie Halloween movies. So this movie is a real back to basics movie. And the movie stars Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode, who is suffering from PTSD from her initial encounter with Michael Myers. And all throughout the trailers and clips we've seen, she is ready for Michael's return, making safe rooms in her house, loading her house up with guns and weapons, ready to take on Michael Myers once again. Now, this movie seems to be an evolution for the character of Laurie Strode. In the original, she was, I don't want to say naive, but she was the good girl in the friends group. Very non-confrontational, almost very innocent-like. So now, 40 years later, she is a gun-toting girl on a mission. Now this time around, it's not John Carpenter who's spearheading this movie. It's the brainchild of David Gordon Green and Danny McBride. Now they both wrote the script, but David Gordon Green is the one who actually directed it. Now when they were first announced as the brains behind this new movie, it was met with a kind of, I don't want to say controversy, but the overwhelming feeling was just kind of like, this will be interesting. Now, I think it's important to look at David Gordon Green and Danny McBride as creators in their own sense. Danny McBride is really good at writing characters, and I think that's what this movie really is about. It's not about the monster chasing people, it's about the characters in that situation. And David Gordon Green really has an eye for creating characters as well. So even though they're mostly in comedies, I think they will do really well at creating deep characters. Now the movie was already screened at the Toronto International Film Festival on September 8th. It doesn't hit theaters until October 19th. But from its initial screening at the TIFF, it was met with some really good reviews, and currently holds an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now that score is a lot better than what most of the Halloween sequels have gotten. But I, for one, am really excited about this movie because Michael Myers, to me, is the scariest of the slasher movie icons. I think he's scarier than Jason Voorhees. I think he's scarier than Freddy Krueger. I think he's scarier than Pinhead. And let me tell you why. So when John Carpenter came up for the idea for Michael Myers, he got the idea from going to a mental institution on a school field trip, and he met this person who said had the darkest eyes, the most emotionless eyes ever, and that is what truly terrified him. So he kind of created this character based on that. John Carpenter has also said that Michael Myers is an unstoppable force. And that to me is what's truly terrifying. Because Michael Myers will not stop. If he wants you dead, he will not stop until you are dead. I think it's also important to talk about the look of Michael Myers. The white mask with the black eyes, it is a stoic, emotionless face. You see no anger, you see no hate, you see no love, you see no sympathy. It is just an emotionless face. And it is truly the face of a psychopath. a person who does not change whatsoever. And I think the idea of having a white mask with black eyes also kind of paints the picture that this could be anybody. This could be your next door neighbor. This could be a coworker. This could be anybody who can just and become a psychopath. And I think that's one of the aspects that make him so scary. Scarier than Jason Voorhees, for example, who is just a mindless brute. Someone who comes back from the dead who really seems to have no purpose other than killing. Michael Myers has a drive behind him. There is something urging him to go out and commit these murders. Now, why Michael commits these murders has always been brought into debate. But I, for one, don't need any explanation as to why he commits these murders. Because to me, Michael isn't the center point of these movies. It's about the people who are experiencing it. Here's a good example I can give. If you look at some of the best zombie movies, they don't tell you where the plague came from. Because it's not a movie about the plague, it's a movie about the people. So Michael Myers really doesn't need any backstory to why he commits these crimes. He is just a psychopath murderer, much like we've seen in Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy and so on. And I think part of it too is that it is based in reality. It's not like Freddy Krueger, who you can look at and say, well, that will never happen. But Michael Myers is a real person. This will, and already has, happened to some people. But one of the things that has always interested me in Michael Myers is one aspect. And I remember watching one of the movies, and in one of the movies he drives. And that's something that always kind of stuck with me. Also, some of the debate is that Michael is a mindless killing machine. But the fact that he drives says something else. Driving requires cognitive thinking. And cognitive thinking brings about choices. So the fact that he drives is the fact that he can think. He can reason, even though he chooses not to, but he is capable of making choices. He is not just a mentally unstable individual. He is perfectly capable of making choices in rationality. So he is not just a mindless brute, but he chooses to do these things. And that, to me, is the scariest aspect of Michael Myers. That he chooses to do these things. It would be very simple for him to just flip the switch and decide he's not going to, but he chooses not to. And I think that is why, out of all the slasher movie icons, Michael Myers is by far the scariest one. Sure, you can look at Jason Voorhees and say he looks scary. Sure, you can look at Freddy Krueger and say he looks scary. Sure, you can look at Pinhead and say he looks scary. And the blank face and black eyes of Michael Myers is scary, but it's the mind of Michael Myers that is truly terrifying. So there it is, guys. There's my thoughts and theories to the new Halloween movie getting ready to come out, and Michael Myers in general. As always, if you feel that I may have missed something or you got your own take on it, please leave a comment below. And as always, hit the subscribe button because I always got videos coming out. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at James Walker Show. And are you going to go see the new Halloween movie? If you are, let me know. Once you see it, leave a comment below and let me know what you think. And I will see you guys next time. Just don't know if the pumpkin is too much. I'm going to leave it in.